Lesson 3, Sculpting Eyes. So we're going to start by forming our clay into an eye socket-like shape, because this will give us a good foundation for making the eye look as realistic as possible. Once you get that shape, then you're going to roll the eyeball and place that in. After you've placed the eyeball, then you'll work on the eyelids. The top lid is more prominent and stands on its own, whereas the bottom lid blends in more quickly into the cheek area. Next, I add the tear duct to the inner corner of the eye by making a little coil of clay and bending it into a V shape. Then I'm going to work on the part of the eyelid that tends to hood down. So some people have a larger hood than others. I'm looking at my model, and that sort of hood creates the crease, or emphasizes the crease in the eyelid, which not everyone has, so just refer back to your model and look closely and see what their eye does. Spend a few moments here tuning up the little details around the eye a little bit more. One thing I do is I make sure that the top lid overhangs the bottom lid, where it meets in the corner there especially. So for the outside of the eye, we're going to try to stick to what our reference picture looks like. For the detail on the actual eyeball itself, we're just going to do a sculptural trick. So we're going to use different depths to make it look like there's an iris, a pupil, and the white of the eye. So we'll start by drawing the outline for the iris. It's not going to be a complete circle. Some of it will be hidden by the upper lid. Then we'll draw the pupil, and then we'll also draw a highlight. The pupil will scoop out to be the deepest point because that's the darkest. We'll leave the highlight completely as it is, and we'll scoop out a little bit of the iris to try to make it a little bit more shadowed than the white of the eye. Mainly, I just slant its edges on each side. I'm going to jump ahead to a still frame in a minute so you can see exactly what I mean. But another tip is to keep the highlight right up against the top eyelid, and that gives it support, but I think it also just looks a little bit more realistic. Don't worry too much about getting it perfectly smooth, because this is just the practice. If you have any other questions or problems, email me or talk to me when we meet up on Zoom. See you then!